morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am the posh guy who likes wrestling, and welcome to episode 10 of my reviews. Yes, I took another week off because the WWE is boring me at the moment. That's weird. We're in the run-up to Wrestlemania, the supercard of supercards, the biggest show on their schedule, and I'm a little bit bored by what I'm seeing. So I took a week off because I'm a man with sanity. So I'm back. Not that really anyone notices because I've got 18 followers. But hey, look forward. So I'm going to try and shake up the way I do my episodes a little bit. Normally I do a chronological, so what happened in this week's Raw and SmackDown. I'm not going to do that because that was boring. So instead I'm going to talk about each feud individually and are they doing it right? Are they doing it wrong? What would I change? Analysis, yo! Cool, so let's talk about the current feud of the Intercontinental Championship. This is a mess. I've read articles online that compare it to a Looney Tunes cartoon, and with good reason. First of all, because it's got R-Truth in it. Now, I think people like R-Truth. I don't know why. First of all, he's on commentary for every fucking match. Seriously, I watched, I think, about 2 weeks worth of Raw and SmackDown. I think on every single one. 4 episodes R-Truth did commentary, talking about, hey, your eyes out, Kizone, or you're right, JBL, ha, ha, ha. Fuck off! Then he'll steal the championship by sneaking up and doing this sort of, cartoon vampire thing. Enough's enough! He annoys me. I'd quite like to see someone hurt him at Wrestlemania. All of this puts a spotlight on the Intercontinental Championship, which is a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing that, 6 people want the Intercontinental Championships, but it's been handled in such a strange way that I don't know if it really conveys any respect on the belt. Well, first of all, the champion's been conveyed to look like an absolute toolbox in Bad News Barrett, which I take as a personal slight because he's a Brit. I mean, everyone's been feeling like this for a while. The Intercontinental Belt is where you go to lose in order to put people over. In the 80s and the 90s, the Intercontinental Championship was seen as the workhorse title. It was the Bret Hart, the Owen Hart, the Ricky Steamboat, the Randy Macho Man Savage title. It was where the guys who could put on the show-stealing match, that's where they went to go and do their stuff. I mean, look no further than Wrestlemania 3. You've got the huge powers match up at the top of the show, and then you've got Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat in the middle, stealing the show, outworking all of the other guys on the bill. So, this is where Daniel Bryan comes in. Chances are Ziggler or Bryan is walking away with the title, which means they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to seclude the title because enough people care about Ziggler and enough people care about Bryan that you don't really need to use the title in order to build up the star. In this case, the star can feed into the championship. The championship can gain prestige by being carried by someone who's over. Ziggler and Bryan both insanely over with the universe. And what I would do, I'd take it off Bad News Barrett, which is a shame because after he's lost 6 matches now in a row, maybe 7, clean as well. If they take the championship off him, I think it's basically shooting him in the knee and leaving him in the woods. What can you do? It's just, well, first of all, whoever wins it should hold on to the fucking thing. Because it had, they've called it out on TV, being passed around like a hot potato. It has. It's been given to every Tom, Dick, and Ziggler to basically have for a month. Then they'll have a title change at the next pay-per-view to spice up them ratings, and then drop it on Raw the next night or something like that. So, what they should do, the guy who has it shouldn't lose it till at least SummerSlam, and preferably shouldn't lose it till next WrestleMania. If they give it to Bryan, the way they make this work is Bryan say, this is my championship. I'm dedicating my life to this championship. If anyone thinks they can come and take it off me easy, come and fucking have a go. I will put on an amazing match with anyone who wants a shot at this title. Every single pay-per-view, I will defend this. Okay, I'm not getting into programs with anyone else. You can't use me to jumpstart someone else's feud. This is my title, and if you want to fight me, you fight me for this, and you fight me on my terms at the pay-per-view. At which point, everyone steps up to him. Everyone in that match. You've got 7 months worth of competitors there. Oh, imagine Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Give it 20 minutes and everyone has a good time. That's what I think they should do. Are they going to do it? They've been making a huge deal out of Bad News Barrett's losing streak, so maybe he'll get the title back to get some sort of redemption. But honestly, what's he going to do with it? The guy looks uncomfortable with it over his shoulder because he's been made to look like such a fool. No, give it to a workhorse and say, this is the workhorse championship again. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Triple H, before those guys were huge. This is the championship you have. Make it your own. The tag team championships. Now this, again, it's turned into something of a bit of a scramble. I thought that maybe we were just going to have the Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro at WrestleMania. But, you know, that's gotten a little stale a little quickly. So instead, it seems like we might have a four corners thing going on. The New Day, inexplicably, beat Tyson Kidd and Cesaro on Raw. Then what happened was the Usos came out and Naomi and Natalya still have that bad blood there. Then the Usos were beaten by Los Matadores. Enough! It's weird. With the Battle Royal, the Intercontinental Championship, and this... Now, I get it, they're trying to put as many people on the card as possible, but it seems like such a fucking mess. Like, everyone's scrambling, and it honestly... It reminds me of that scene in Jumanji. You know, it's a stampede! Everyone is just coming at all the titles so hard. What? Phrasing. Having a lot of interest for the titles is good, but it turns the match into a spot fest. You can't really get a solid emotional engagement, and it's a shame because if you put a championship on the line, you've got stakes, right? Which makes it easier for the audience to watch a match and get involved. You know, every 2 count will mean more because the championship's on the line. And if you've got this one team against another team, they've built up this history, then seeing that boil over on the grander stage of them all with the title on the line would be exciting. No, but the thing is, we haven't been allowed to invest in any particular side of the rivalry because the Usos maybe a bit more because of Natalya versus Naomi and because, you know, double date stuff, but that's been lost. You know, the New Day, you know, they're now involved, and the Los Matadores. You know, we've got 2 vanilla gimmick teams crowding what should otherwise be something of an intriguing matchup. I mean, we've seen Cesaro and Kidd and the Usos put on a great match. You know, they put on 2 back-to-back, one at Fastlane and one the night after on Raw. And now, I mean, you'll probably get more high spots. There'll probably be more cool tag team moves. You know, Los Matadores are very athletic. The New Day, they'll probably have Big E and Kofi, and those guys are very athletic. They can do some cool stuff. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, they can do cool stuff. It's fine. But not every match can be a spot fest. It seems sloppy, and it makes every team seem a little bit unimportant. Because if you're not worthy of a story, then you're almost just there to fill the room. So what I would do, make it tag team turmoil, because then you get like isolated team-on-team matches rather than guys fucking coming from the... What's wrong with me today? And I would have things like qualifying matches on Raw to determine who's going to be the last team to enter. Maybe, you know, the Ascension come in and they use underhanded tactics to get that coveted final spot, so they're the last team that whoever has to face. Or maybe you have a battle royal with all the teams to decide, you know, what the standing is. You know, just a little something to make the teams kind of all on the same page. You know, they have chances to fight each other, get a bit of animosity going. Anyway, that's what I would do. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or the holding pen for the guys who don't have anything going on, and also Mizdow. Mizdow will win this if there's a god. If there isn't a god, Ryback will win this. Or, if there is a god and he hates me, Sheamus will win this. No, the real star to be made is Mizdow. The point of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or at least what it should be, is that it isolates, this is going to be the breakout star of this year. What's nice is that unlike Royal Rumble, where the guy who wins it has to be in the main event at WrestleMania, and so it's kind of obvious who's going to be in it, it's a mid-card battle royal, so you don't know who's going to win it, because there's a couple of legitimate contentions. Ryback could win it. Sheamus could win it. Curtis Axel, could win it. The Miz could win it. Mizdow could win it, which is exciting. So, hey, Mizdow won. Oh, great. What's next? I want to see where they take him. They don't have to go anything dramatic. They don't have to lock themselves into a championship match, but they can say to everyone, look, the focus is going to be on this guy. Hangs him a big trophy and says, okay, we've got plans for you. Or it could just fall apart like it did with Cesaro last year. But maybe it might not. But it probably will. So here's what I would do. Basically just sort of keep it going. Make it even more unpredictable. Have Sheamus return, please, because I don't want him to win this. And if he returns at WrestleMania, he will win it. Have Sheamus return, start a feud with Ryback. Have the Big Show and Kane, continue their feud, really, lamp the shit out of each other, because those guys are in contention as well. Have Miz and Mizdow almost boil over, and then you've got a couple of things going. You got a couple of plates spinning, so that when we get down to the final 10, which is probably when the Battle Royal will get good, it'll be fucking rubbish before then. When you get down to the final 10, then the stories can start bleeding into each other and it'll look good. Triple H versus Sting. I'm surprised at how little I care about this. First of all, because they're going the whole WCW thing route. Why? WCW's been dead for over 10 years. Almost 15 years. Okay? WCW doesn't matter anymore. Okay, if there was going to be that thing, if Sting was going to come over and fight with the big dog and have it be about, I'm the survivor of WCW, then it should have happened in 2002. First of all, he's been in TNA for 8 years, or 10 years, or whatever it is. And of course, they're not going to mention TNA, don't give them the oxygen of publicity, but it just doesn't make any sense. Just make it about the corruption thing. They sort of did on last week's Raw. They had a weirdly voiced promo from Sting where he talks about the corruption in the WWE and how he's going to rid the WWE of Triple H like he, tried valiantly to rid the WCW of the people who corrupted that. I mean, I guess I see those parallels, but just make it, just be easier. Because the problem is, if Triple H is defending WWE against the invader from WCW, first of all, we've already done that storyline badly, and second of all, isn't Triple H the fucking babyface in this scenario? Because I bought the WWE network, not the WCW network. Anyway, they had a nice thing at Fastlane, but really, also, weak sauce, Triple H called Booker T into the ring and didn't kick the shit out of him. What the fuck? That's booking 101. If Triple H can't beat up Sting, he'll beat up someone who's friends with Sting. That's so simple. Instead, Triple H fired Booker T, but then didn't even fire him. He just I'm having fun with you. Get back to you. At least fire the guy. Fuck my balls. Have Triple H's stake in the company be put on the line. Have, if it's the reality era, have Sting's eligibility to be put in the Hall of Fame up for grabs. Sting, you put yourself in this match. If I win, you will never be in the Hall of Fame. Then there's a little bit of a something. Because, it's a legacy thing. Things that are real. WCW hasn't been real for 14 years. So, why do we care? Too little, too late. John Cena versus Rusev. In my opinion, the best built feud on the card. Because we've seen slightly new sides of John Cena. We've seen new sides of Rusev. We've seen Rusev and Lana have a bit of tension. It's actually a development of the story. I thought, after seeing Fastlane, where could they go from here? But having him deny Cena the opportunity, having Cena pretend to go into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and then Stephanie refusing, that's weird. Because why would Cena just accept not... Anyway, never mind. But it forced John Cena to be creative, aggressive. The fact that he locked Rusev into the STF until he passed out, woke him up, then locked him in again, that was cool. That's probably the coolest thing John Cena's done in years. And also, what this opens up the door for, what's got me intrigued, is that we've seen Rusev in the STF now. We've seen him tap to the STF, which means that actually, who wins at WrestleMania is still up for grabs. Because normally, if John Cena was going to win via the STF, which he is because Rusev's a submission monster, if he's going to win via the STF, you wouldn't see it until WrestleMania. And then when he's locked in, it'd be like, oh, fuck, I would have never thought he'd be able to put Rusev in the whatever, and then tap out. But now we've seen Rusev in that. Suddenly we've seen that kind of stage picture. Rusev left lying while Cena is triumphant. Now it makes everything seem a little less certain, which is good. AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. Having AJ back is great. Having her and Paige on the same page is fine, because the whole frenemies thing, it muddied what should have been an all-time great Divas feud. Having them be against the Bellas, I could still sort of see it, because honestly the Bellas shouldn't be a tag team. Nikki said that she hoped that Brie died in the womb. Why is Brie her friend? I don't get it. What should happen, what they should have done, first of all, put the fucking title on the line. It's WrestleMania. Or are you worried that Night of Champions might be sullied by having everything be defended at WrestleMania? No, it would be exciting. Defend the fucking belt. What they should do is AJ versus Paige versus Nikki versus Brie. Nikki relies on Brie to help her get the double team on Paige and then AJ by themselves. And of course, Brie turns her back on Nikki on the grandest stage of them all. She rolls up her sister, takes the belt off her. I never forgave you for all those horrible fucking things you said. And then we get to see another kind of, Bella feud. A blow-off thing at Extreme Rules. Probably a Lumberjill match, because ladies. No, that would be good. Plus you get to see Paige and AJ, and Fatal 4-Ways are always more exciting. Everyone's got business with everyone else, so it's not just a spot fest. All of these guys legitimately have pre-existing beef with each other. But no, it's just a tag match. You can see that shit on Raw. It'll probably last 31 seconds. So we got Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton as well. This feud has only just gotten good because Randy Orton has finally pulled his dick out and started attacking Seth Rollins. What the fuck was the point of that 2 weeks where he was pretending to be part of the Authority? It's not a slow build. It's just delaying time. It's so obviously just filler. Just having him just be on the side of the Authority and then wait for a bit and then suddenly, oh, now I'm going to kick the hell out of Seth Rollins. I get it because Big Show and Kane were sent home, but that wasn't engineered by Randy. Okay, at the moment, all that Randy seemed to do was get pissed off at the Authority when they were dicks to him. So it made him seem a little unstable, but all the kind of provocation was coming from their side. It didn't make sense. And now basically we should have been here Monday after Fastlane. This is exactly what we should have done. What we should have had was Randy Orton kick the absolute shit out of Seth Rollins. Then we should have had Seth Rollins blindside him and kick the shit out of him the next week. Then these guys, we can't contain this. This is too crazy. Sign a non-contact agreement. Like Stone Cold and Triple H did, where you guys can't touch each other. If you do, Randy, you're suspended. Seth Rollins, you lose your Money in the Bank contract. Then the guys have to go after people they care about. Like Randy Orton single-handedly murders J&J Security. Seth Rollins finds Randy Orton's dad and curb stomps him. These little things that would just even more ratchet up the heat on the feud because it was white fucking hot. White hot. And now they're going to have to do all of that in the space of 2 weeks just to try and get it interesting again. It was interesting. And then it fizzled out because of this stop, start, momentum, fucking bullshit booking that creative. I know, we'll just spin out for a little bit, because it'll be mind games. It's not mind games, it's just boring, and it didn't make any sense. So the audience were confused, they turned off, and now they've got to build up the feud again. Good luck. I'm sure it'll be an amazing match because Seth Rollins and Randy Orton are amazing athletes. It's just, they need to start hurting each other in new creative ways. Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. We're not probably going to see The Undertaker till WrestleMania, which I can sort of deal with. Bray Wyatt is enough of a man to carry out this stuff by himself, but Bray Wyatt needs to start doing stuff now. Bray Wyatt needs to start doing physical things. Okay, we've had The Undertaker accept his challenge and burn his chair. Okay. So what happens now? Bray Wyatt I think he needs to go after people. I think he needs to show this incredibly sadistic side. He needs to have a match versus Zack Ryder and destroy him. and refuse to let up until he's beaten him. And then we have people refuse to get into the ring with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt beats people so bad that people are legitimately afraid of him. So he starts to get a little cult of aura around him, that he is a man who is the new face of fear. And then Undertaker has to put a stop to that. It's been built well up till this point. You know, it's a little hurt by the fact we're not seeing Undertaker, so it is just a monologue every single week. We need those to stop now, and we need to start seeing Bray Wyatt do something really scary. Okay, we've only got the World Heavyweight title match left. So, this match has been sort of well built for one reason. 2 words: Paul Heyman. He is doing everything in this feud. First of all, we're not getting any Brock Lesnar because of some sort of backstage negotiation shenanigans that's going on between him and Vince. I don't know what's happening. Vince obviously really wants him to stay but isn't going to fork out enough money. Brock knows that the WWE Network's doing fine, can probably leverage his position for more money. Anyway, it's tense, and so it means we're not getting to see Brock kick the shit out of anybody. I mean, fine, because Paul Heyman's there to talk him up like a storm, but we're not getting any confrontation between him and Reigns. Brock comes out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman delivers a sermon. Brock Lesnar goes away. Out comes Roman Reigns, talks to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman tells Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kicks the shit out of Seth Rollins or whatever. Because, yeah, we're seeing Roman Reigns do exciting things by himself. He leaped over the top rope onto the entire authority. That looked cool. And he's expanding his move arsenal all the time, which is good. And Brock Lesnar is probably the most over man on the roster. But we're not seeing them collide. Like Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk. Fuck, that was an amazing build. Because they were in each other's face the whole time, and Brock and him got into scuffle. Like, obviously, you know, the last few weeks before WrestleMania, we're going to have to see some sort of physical confrontation, or something close to it, a contract signing, or something. But at the moment, everything is on Paul Heyman's shoulders, and Jesus, if they keep cutting off his microphone, the guy's got to single-handedly build a feud, and he can't even get working equipment to do it. Paul, I'm sorry. So those are the things that matter in the WWE at the moment. Will they develop? We'll see how they develop. I might do a review next week, or I might do something, because I've got a few plans leading up to WrestleMania. So we might see if I just do those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Click subscribe, please. Or if you like the video, share it to someone. Hey, let's all share it on blog posts. Let's share it in forums if you can. Because I love doing these videos, but ultimately I want to get an audience out of them. So if you guys could help me with that, that would be amazing. So click subscribe and share. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. I'm the Posh Guy Who Likes Wrestling. Cheerio.